In the city of Lagos, two friends went to see a prophet. One was told he was going to be rich, while the other was told he was going to be poor. But things changed. Watch this story about Chike and Emeka, the two friends who thought they saw their future. In the city of Lagos, two young men, Chike and Emeka, had been inseparable since their childhood days. They were more than friends. They were brothers in spirit, bound by shared dreams, laughter, and the unspoken promise to always have each other's back. Chike was the dreamer. He was always spinning tales of a future where they both live in mansions with gleaming cars parked out front. Emeka, quieter but fiercely determined, was the planner, the one who grounded Chike's wild ideas with practical step. Together, they were unstoppable, or they thought so. Chike worked as a graphic designer, freelancing for small businesses, while Emeka hustled as a delivery driver, saving every naira he could. Both were scraping by, but their ambitions burned lighter than the Lagos sun. They heard whispers about a prophet in Badagry, a man named Baba Ifa, whose predictions were said to be as certain as the tide. Desperate for a glimpse into their futures, they decided to make the journey. The road to Badagry was long and bumpy. While they were on the road, Chike cracked jokes, while Emeka stared out the window. Emeka's mind was racing about what lay ahead. When they finally arrived at Baba Ifa's compound, they found a queue of people waiting. Old women, young men, all seeking for the prophet's wisdom. After hours of waiting, Chike and Emeka were ushered into his room. "Speak your purpose," Baba Ifa said. Chike, always the bolder one, spoke first. "We want to know our futures, Baba. What does destiny hold for us?" The prophet closed his eyes, muttering incantations. When he opened his eyes, they were fixed on Chike. "You," he said, pointing, "you will rise to great wealth. Your name will be spoken in high places, and riches will flow to you like the waters at Ogun River." Chike was happy. His face lit up, wide enough to split the sky. "I knew it," he exclaimed, nudging Emeka. "I told you, man, my time is coming." Baba Ifa then turned to Emeka, his expression unreadable. "You," he said at last, "you will walk a steady path. Your life will be average, neither great nor poor. You will have enough, but no more." Emeka's shoulders slumped, but he nodded, accepting the words with the quiet resolve that defined him. Chike, still buzzing with excitement, clapped him on the back. "Don't worry, bro. When I'm rich, I will hook you up. Mansions for both of us." As they left the prophet's compound, the contrast between their moods was stark. Chike was practically dancing, already imagining his future millions and fast car. He was imagining a house in Banana Island, maybe even a private jet. Emeka was silent, his mind churning. Average? The word stung him like a slap. He always worked hard, always believed that effort could bend fate. But now, with the prophet's words echoing in his head, doubt crept in. The weeks that followed saw a subtle shift in their dynamic. Chike, convinced his wealth was guaranteed, began to slack off. Why grind for hours on low-paying graphics design when destiny had already stamped him a future? He spent his days lounging at bars and squandering the little money he had left on drinks and flashy clothes. "It's just a matter of time," he told Emeka. "Why stress when the universe has my back?" Emeka, on the other hand, doubled down. The prophet's words lit a fire in him, not of resentment, but of defiance. If his destiny was to be average, he'd fight with everything he had. He took on extra shift, driving through Lagos chaotic traffic, even late at night. On the days off, he enrolled in online courses, learning about e-commerce and digital marketing. He started a side hustle selling imported sneakers through Instagram, using his savings to buy stock in bulk. Every naira he earned went back into business or into savings. His eyes fixed on a future he refused to let be average. Chike noticed the change but brushed it off with a laugh. "You are working too hard, my guy," he said, sipping a beer at their usual hangout. "Relax, my millions are coming, and I will take care of you." Emeka would smile thinly and change the subject. He didn't resent Chike, not yet, but the carefree attitude grated on him. He'd seen too many people wait for a miracle that never came. It wasn't going to be one of them. Months turned into a year, and their paths diverged further. Emeka's sneaker business took off. His hustle started paying as he built a loyal customer base. He reinvented his profits, renting a small shop in Ikeja and hiring 2 employees. He learned to negotiate with suppliers, cutting costs without sacrificing quality. By 1 year, he had saved enough money to buy a small plot of land in Lekki, a modest but tangible step towards the future he envisioned. He worked 16 hours in a day, fueled by determination and to prove the prophet wrong. Meanwhile, Chike was coasting. His freelance gig dried up as clients grew frustrated with missed deadlines and half-finished design. He showed up at Emeka's shop, sprawling on a chair and regaling customers with stories of his big break that was just around the corner. He borrowed money from Emeka, promising to pay it back when the millions rolled in. Emeka always gave in, though each loan felt heavier than the last. By 2 years, the gap between them was undeniable. Emeka's business had expanded to 3 shops across Lagos. He started importing electronics, tapping into the city's high demand for gadgets. He moved into a sleek apartment in Victoria Island. He wasn't a billionaire, not yet, but he was comfortable. His bank accounts growing steadily as his reputation as an entrepreneur spread. Chike, however, was struggling. His savings were gone, spent on night out and flashy purchases that didn't hold their value. He moved back to his parents' house, sleeping on a warm mattress in the room he grew up in. The prophet's words haunted him, not as a promise now, but as a joke. Where was the wealth he'd been promised? He started avoiding Emeka, embarrassed by the contrast between their life. One evening, Emeka invited Chike to his apartment for dinner. The view from the balcony, the AC and the polished furniture, it all felt different to Chike. He finally broke the silence. "How did you do it, bro?" he asked in a low voice. "The prophet said I was the one who would make it big." Emeka leaned back, considering his words. "The prophet saw a path, maybe, but paths change. You thought destiny as a gift, but I thought it as a challenge. I worked like my life depended on it because it did." Chike stared at the plate, weighing on his choices. "I thought it was guaranteed," he murmured. "I stopped trying." Emeka nodded. "That's the thing about prophecies. They don't tell you what to do. They just tell you what could be." The rest of the meal passed in silence. Chike left that night with a mix of envy and regret, promising himself he would change. He started small, taking on freelance gigs again, but the spark he once had was dimmer now. Emeka offered him a job at one of his shops, and though Chike accepted, pride stung with every paycheck. By 3 years, Emeka's company was listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a milestone that landed him the cover of the Business Day. He bought a house in Banana Island, the kind of place Chike had once dreamed of. Chike meanwhile was getting by, working as a store manager for Emeka. He was neither rich nor poor, just average, exactly as the prophet had foretold. One quiet evening, Chike sat alone in a small apartment, scrolling through old photos on his phone of him and Emeka. He thought back to Baba Ifa's words, replaying them like a song stuck in his head. The prophet hadn't lied, he realized. The wealth had been there for the taking, but he let it slip through his fingers, waiting for a future that wouldn't wait for him. Emeka from his balcony, overlooking the city, thought of Chike too. He didn't gloat. Success hadn't made him queer. He tried to pull Chike along, offering job, advice, even loan. But some lessons he knew could only be learned the hard way. Destiny wasn't a promise, it was a seed, and only one of them had planted it. Their friendship endured, but it was different now, stretched thin by time and choices. They still met sometimes, sharing beers and memory at a bar in Yaba. Chike would joke about his millionaire days that never came, and Emeka would laugh, but his eyes held a quiet sadness. The prophet's word had shaped them both, but only one had shaped his own path. In the end, Lagos kept moving, its chaos and hustle swallowing their story like countless others. Chike and Emeka remained brothers in spirit, but the city had taught them what the prophet hadn't. Faith is what you make it, and the only guarantees are the ones you build yourself. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thank you for watching.